Alright, my guy, listen up. We're gonna talk about my rendering engine right now. Why is it special? It uses ray tracing instead of triangles. Triangles are fucking degenerate bullshit. It makes the most funniest videos, though, when people try to explain rasterization. Holy shit. There's a reason people hate Unreal Engine 5 right now. And love Minecraft, because Minecraft is actually making this rendering engine a reality. Ray trace rendering is actually coming to life. This is my best attempt. I'm not putting too much work into it, so don't judge too fucking hard. It's just a proof of concept. Here you go. I have improved the rendering distance a little bit with LOD objects. If you zoom in, the LOD objects are little balls, alright? And they do have some kind of fucking glitch attached to it. I'm not sure what's going on, and I might be able to fix it with Generation 3 Ray Trace rendering, my friends. I'll talk about it right now. That's what we're talking about. I even added a little shader. I call it Mosaic Shader. I saw another game have it, so I thought it was just a good idea to have my own version, too. Looks pretty fine. Now, without lighting, it's not too crazy, but again, my favorite thing is that this is all, like, just super nice terrain. Looking terrain. It's like very smooth, but it's also made out of blocks. Like, what? Yeah, it's just like, and those blocks are rotated. The fact that they're rotated doesn't change anything. It looks like fucking normal terrain. You know, to me, it's funny. It's fucking crazy that you can pull this off. This is 40 FPS. 40 FPS, boys. And with enough optimizations, it's gonna go to 60, and I have to mention that Oblivion Remastered fucking lags. And ray tracing is a hard thing to pull off by myself. Okay, all these fucking pipelines, all the things that I don't know about, like compute shaders and fucking hell, dude. How to make things actually efficient. I don't know these things, my friend. I just spawned. So let's talk about the generations. The first generation is volumetric rendering. Let me show you how it looks like. Someone went and actually did the thing. They have figured out how to do it. You know? I did release videos about this, but holy shit. You know? Now, how does this guy pull off something like this? You can see there's a tiny little pixel. These are, in fact, pixels. They have their own color. You know, and this volumetric data of meshes exists somewhere. And they're made out of pixels. Fucking badass. You know? I knew that this was possible, but we're finally looking at it. Someone actually did it. Now, these are not objects. They exist on a grid, on a 3D grid. Alright, and it goes from the entire world's level. Then you have the chunk level. Then you have the object level. And then every object has like 9x9 pixel things that are destructible, basically. Something like that. You'll see in the game what I mean. Because objects do want to be a little bit complicated. These are not actors, however. Actors need a separate pipeline. And with the Generation 2, I put those pipelines together. All the objects and actors are the same thing. So when I'm talking about the actors, there's a fucking dude basically waiting for you to talk to him, but he does not actually participate in the terrain generation. He's on a different pipeline. He has to be. It's a very different thing. He doesn't even get lighting necessarily. Does he? He kind of does. It's pretty cool. But it doesn't get the same treatment, I don't think. I'm actually quite surprised that objects like that even exist. They don't have to even adhere to the grid. So I'm not sure how they do it. Maybe it's actually still made out of polygons. Maybe it's using the basic rendering pipeline, which is why I had to actually combine them together. I was like, I want to rotate my objects. I want to scale my objects, please. I want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want. I want to position them, scale, rotate, whatever. All the cool shit that all these old men have. Why can't everyone have this? You know, every single block. So when you look at volumetric rendering, you do see like a pattern repeating itself over and over again. And those things cannot rotate. They're stuck in place. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just like how this rendering engine would work. And I call it Generation 1. Mine is Generation 2. And as long as I optimize, I will get out of the pesky 40 FPS. And maybe someone else can help me out as well. However, I have an idea for Generation 3. Yeah, we're already skipping to 3. So expect someone to make a game up about Generation 2, you know? Super voxel. I'm thinking this is possible. When I shoot a ray and I hit an object, I usually get a pixel and I drag that pixel back with me. One time. What if I summon the pixel? What if I do that? What if I no longer hit the object anymore and I just grab its pixel? I can update the pixels and see if like they want to be updated. They need to have HP. They have to have intensity for how long they survive until they despawn. But overall, bruh, this might be it. What problem does it solve? The dome problem. When I have to render things from a very, very distant places. Alright, I want to create a dome. Now, I still don't want to summon entire worlds, and LOD is kind of necessary. At this point in the video, like, you will not understand anything that I'm talking about. Don't even try, because I'm just theorizing. I know what these pixels are supposed to look like. They're supposed to have color, position, and intensity. Basically, 8 bits or whatever, 8 bytes. Or 64 bits. I just call them floats for twice, alright? Because that's what I would use. I use 4 floats, one for F4 float for color, and then 3 for position and 1 for intensity. So it gives us 8 floats of values. That would define the pixel. I would have to summon 10 million of these pixels to actually populate the screen properly. The closer I would get to the object, the pixel would get smaller, obviously. But the further I would go from the screen, the pixel would get larger. Creating a dome effect. Basically, I'm trying to like do this like laser scanning, and the moment I scan the object, I leave the object alone. I just need the pixels, and the pixels come themselves. Just like in the triangle rendering rasterization bullshit, which I hate so much, but I will actually use a very similar tactic. Of the triangle will have to come to me. I am the king. I have decided that triangle must come to me. And all these pixels will automatically come to your screen and fight each other, basically, for which is the better pixel. You know, it's fucking badass. Maybe they even merge together into a greater pixel. Or maybe they split, but the pixel gonna be there, but it splits into greater detail. Like, who knows, man? The possibilities are amazing. I feel like Generation 3 is gonna solve so many problems. The dome problem is like, what do you show to the player when it's trying to show distant objects? What the fuck do you do then? Because distant objects are just generally low quality and absolute trash, like disgusting. You have to also ray trace so far away to actually grab the fucking object. But what you can do is put a dome. Create a dome that has all the pixels you need. So you no longer have to grab the objects, the pixels just know what to show you. You've seen this, but we're not talking about this dome. We're talking about the TikTok that was exploring the idea of like what happens when you get closer and further away from a window. When you go closer to the window, you see this much. When you get further away from the window, you see this much. Your field of view gets reduced, but what does not change, my friends? This, what you can see through the window, does not change. I love this shit. You can see more of it, but it doesn't fundamentally change. That is the dome effect. If you put the dome over the player, that's all you have to render. And ray tracing can actually decide what the dome is made out of, what pixels. So basically, further rendering is going to be solved with pixels. 100% this is happening. 100% the dome has to be created. The only question is pixel rendering superior to normal rendering in general? Because for some reason, my generation 2 breaks down when it's trying to render an object that is close to me. Why is it doing that? Why is it lagging? I don't know. I still haven't figured out why can I render an object that's close to me. One particular thing that happens in my engine when an object is very close to the screen, that means that more objects are potentially close to the screen, first of all. But when an object is close to the screen, every piece of the screen has to see the same object and has to grab the same object. And then it's like, that's a lot of work. We're grabbing this object, but there's so many more objects, but we have to place this object first for some reason. It's like, that's a lot of work. I guess. It lags. There's a reason why when I get closer to the object kind of like disappears or turns into fucking weird glitch thing. You know, I literally don't render the object anymore. It's much more visible with the balls, right? They just literally fucking pop out of existence. With the trees, they still try to do something because there's like lingering information on the screen of like which object was rendered previously. But yeah, this is a problem that potentially the Generation 3 pixel rendering is gonna solve. I don't know, I will need 10 million pixels, bro, at any given time. But it could work. I have to have the, resolution amount of pixels just floating around in space. But it feels like it's just gonna work. It feels like it's gonna do the thing. And it will fix this, my need for dome, and will fix this fucking mysterious glitch. Let's fucking go, right? Let's do Generation 3, see what happens. And maybe it fixes flickering, FPS drops, like maybe it fixes so many more issues that I didn't thought I was having, but who knows, man? Maybe I can even, like, create a chunk for the time being so it can pick up all its pixels. It can extract pixels from the chunks that I normally wouldn't actually summon, but I would be able to because I can extract pixels now and just leave the chunk alone. Just open the chunk, take pixels, close the chunk. I could do so many crazy things. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're excited. I know I'm not, because I have to fucking do the whole thing. Can't just theorize.